Alright, when in doubt, we go back to duels, bro, because that is my bread and butter. And I guess, like, it kind of fits with the topic. I felt like talking about this, not even week. It's probably just going to be daily uploads. Like, I wasn't going into it intending to do daily uploads, but I think I just yap enough about shit that, like, I could genuinely do it at this point. I think the topic I wanted to talk about was, like, my experience with martial arts and with karate. I feel like if you know me in person, you may not fully know this, but like I've mentioned it a couple of times. It's just like not something I always have to talk about. It is just like the Asian part of me like fit the stereotype where it's like we did piano, we got like emotional baggage and like perfectionist qualities. And then the other thing we ended up doing and getting from this was like we also wanted to do martial arts. And so I think, unlike, I don't even know if it's unlike most kids, but like, this was a decision I chose to make. Like, it was something that I felt like doing. I'm so scared I'm peeking my mic right now. I'm gonna cry if I like look back at the recording and it's like really good and it's like really shit. But like, I'm just gonna trust that it's fine. But like, unlike most other kids, I willingly chose this life. Like, I think I don't even know what fully got my parents to actually like sign me up for it and stick with it. But like, I think it might have been because of SpongeBob, and that's like the dumbest reason why. But like, that's the only thing I can think of, or just like only reason I remember. Like I don't even remember me saying it. I think my parents were just like, "Yeah, we saw you like you were talking about it after I'm actually getting scared. I might turn my gain down. I remember you talking about it during like after watching a scene where SpongeBob was like fighting Sandy and like they're doing karate and then you were like getting hyped about it and then like asked to do it. And like looking back, it's such a dumb fucking reason, but like again, it's me. Like, what else is really new? I do dumb shit all the time for like little to no reason, anyways. Um, but yeah, so I decided to do that, and fuck, where was I going with this? I decided to do that when I was like 6, right? Like, of course, that's the mentality a 6-year-old has. But like, then I decided to stick with it, you know? Like, I did this shit for maybe half of my life. I did it from when I was 6 all the way up until, I think maybe high school. And then I still did it in high school. I just wasn't actively taking lessons like I used to. I mean, one because quarantine, COVID hit, and like I was not about to get caught like exercising in my living room. Like I needed that time to doom scroll and like grind Minecraft to do this shit instead. And then but like no, I came back. It's just like it was different. I came back as a teacher. But like let's save that for now. We'll get into that later if I remember to actually get into that. Well, let's talk about what I actually learned. So, 7 years of karate, right? Roughly. What do you do in that time? The answer is you just like I'm gonna be so dead ass with you. With karate, you kind of learn everything you need to know within like a week. So anything past that is just you're just practicing. Like it's an art. You gotta like at the end of the day, every painting is just like a brush stroke. You know? Like or everything is just like a shape, and then like once you know your basic shapes you gotta like just put it together. And then maybe that's oversimplifying shit like a lot, but like that is also just the truth. It's like you learn pretty much all you need to know within the first week because you learn how to punch and you learn how to kick, and that's all you need to know, genuinely. Because like, what are you gonna do if you ever get into a fight? You're gonna like use all these like advanced secret techniques. No, you're just gonna do the first thing that comes to mind, and like the first thing that comes to mind is you're just gonna try and beat the shit out of someone by punching them. Like you're not gonna do all this crazy like kata and like sit down and just like, yeah, now I'm gonna do like this circle block, or like no, you're gonna stick to the basic shit, and the basic shit is like a punch, a kick, and then like you parry maybe their blocks, and then you just like try not to get hit, and that's pretty much like after sitting through it. Damn it, I lost this guy. After sitting through it for like maybe I don't want to say like 4 years because I want to think I was smarter than that, but probably yeah. Uh, it was probably more when I was in high school when I actually started having to teach. It was like you realize, yeah, that's all you need to know with karate and like any martial art, and it's just practicing past that, like, um, straight up. So I mean, there is still other things I learned. There was like other disciplines of martial arts that I learned that was actually pretty interesting that I really enjoyed. Aside from like just the basic katas, that also has something I could yap about. Like, I don't remember the exact name, but pretty much it's the whole idea that, the reason why kata was invented was to teach like a large group of people, um, in like a very quick and easy manner where people could like practice the movements on their own, but like they have meaning to it. Like, you aren't just throwing random shit for no reason. Like, some things are blocks or some things are grabs, and just like there is an art to deciphering what it's supposed to be. And then yeah, I don't remember exactly what the terminology is. I just know like that's something that exists. Now I'm hoping I didn't turn my gain dial too much. So yeah, there's like the basic punching, there's the kicking, like there's the cultural aspect. The thing I was really into though was like the combative or sports part, which of course I am. I am like a healthy and relatively fit, not that fit. Um, boy. So of course, like I like beating the shit out of someone else given the opportunity. It helped with all the other things I was going through at the time too, to have like an outlet. I definitely needed that. But yeah, like it was always respectful for the most part until I got like my head caved in by like my teacher. Uh, Grown ass like kicking a 7-year-old in the head with like an axe kick, and then just like, yeah, I just have to walk that off. But yeah, I mean that they learned over time to not do that. I also like got my ass beat by like people who were older than me, and I think that really like that it really did teach me lessons that I think were very valuable at that point in my age, because I was a little shit back then. I would like start fights that I had no shot of winning. And then like yeah, sometimes the best solution to that isn't to like talk it out, it's just to verbally or to physically beat the shit out of someone. And like obviously in like a healthy and controlled way. I was not getting like permanently destroyed, or like I do not have brain damage or anything. Like I had gear and everything. I was fine. All I'm saying is just like I think uh doing that isn't that bad. Okay. So yeah, there's that. That was my favorite part. I started doing that when I was roughly around like maybe a year or two in, because that's when they were like, yeah, he's old enough, and he's like the right belts, so let's start him. They later like went on to decrease the age limit for that, but like yeah. And then I did compete. Like, let it be known, I did compete. Damn it, dude. I was it wasn't like the traditional karate though. It was more like, if I were to describe it, kind of more like fencing. If you know what arnis is, that's the other thing I learned. I learned how to twirl a wooden stick and then like how to fight with it. I also learned how to use a bow staff. So like those were two cool things I learned how to do. I'm not like the greatest at it, but like I was taught by, I think, the nephew of like the World Federation Arnis thing. I don't fully know the title, but like I think my teachers were also like I think Olympic medalists. They like competed for the US at some point. I don't know if they're any good. Some also just taught like the army because of course they did. If that's their job, they would like eventually go into the military for something. But yeah, I mean those were my teachers. So like I like to think I didn't go to like a McDojo where they weren't teaching me shit. I think I was learning real techniques and like shit that actually would be useful and helpful if I actually like paid attention. But like again, my philosophy on fighting is just like at the end of the day, it always will just boil down to you know, you stick to the basics because that's all you really need. Like you're not gonna remember, yeah, I gotta like do this arm lock and then like that if I apply the pressure point right here, then I'll stop him in his tracks. Like, no, you're not gonna do that. So I guess with that being said, with what I've learned, I guess we could talk about my teaching philosophy. Because that's interesting. Because, like, what do you do when you get, like, a 13-year-old kid who doesn't fully know what to do or, like, how to be a role model yet? And just, like, put him in front of a bunch of, like, 6-year-olds. Like, I didn't fully know how to, like, treat that. For the most part, I was not fully in charge of classes. Like, they at least knew, like, hey, we should probably not trust this 13-year-old fully yet. So, like, okay, I'm getting dogged. Damn it. They, like, had, my teacher was still there. He would just, like, be shadowing me while I would just, like, do warm-ups and, like, lead basic exercises. And I think it wasn't until later on where they were just like, you know, he's been teaching for roughly, like, 4 years. I think he's got it at this point. And then, yeah, my teaching philosophy really just boiled down to you're just gonna stick to the basic things anyways. Let's just try and refine that. So it's like, do like a front kick, and then like here's what you need to do, and here's how to make it more efficient. Here's how to make it stronger. And then we would just like do that. Or like, here's a roundhouse kick. Turn your body more, put your weight a bit more into it, and just like, because I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, but if you're gonna be refining a movement and just, okay, this guy's being so annoying. Dude, just fight me. Oh my god, you're just prolonging it. You're doing more damage, bro. You're gonna win this fight. Why are you running? Yeah, that's what you get. Alright. No, fuck you. So yeah, just stick to like the basics and like what you need to do because that's all that matters. And like I just practice like, okay, if I throw a punch, like what should your first move be? And they would like do like a block or something and I was just like, no, just like push it out of the way, bro. Okay, I guess that sounds stupid because that's what a block is, but like you get my point. Actually, no, you don't. Because there's like a thing called a parry, which is just like you pretty much just slap the fist away. And like, I'm not saying like a hard slap, you just like kind of push it out of the way. Rather than like doing all these fancy movements like an inside block or like a high block. And I'm just like, dude, you could just like move your wrist. Because like, again, a lot of my philosophy also came from just doing sparring a lot, which is just like, this is probably the best you kids are gonna get in terms of just like what a real fight would look like and like to actually practice things. The shit that they were like trying to teach you, that's not gonna fly that much. So like that's the best we're gonna get with you kids. So that's what I did, and that was what I did for roughly, I think maybe 2 or 4 years in high school. It might have been longer because yeah, we just didn't feel like paying anymore. But like if I taught, then they would like uh teach us future lessons for free. So yeah, that was roughly my experience with karate. I'll probably go more in depth with it because I feel like there's probably more stories I can tell or go more in depth with. But like, yeah, I think this video is long enough and I've said pretty much all I've needed to say so far. And I ended on a dub. So, peace.